like a silver puppet as he was winched up. And already they knew. He had glimpsed it in the eyes of the diver who had spoken to him. The disbelief. These men, the helicopter, the aircraft carrier, had been rushed out to rendezvous with a module that had just re-entered the Earth's atmosphere. And inside, they had found a boy. A 14-year-old had just plummeted 100 miles from outer space. These men would be sworn to secrecy, of course. MI6 would see to that. They would never talk about what had happened. Nor would they forget it. There was a medical officer waiting for him on board the USS Kitty Hawk, which was the name of the ship that had been diverted to pick him up. His name was Josh Cook, and he was 40 years old, black with wireframe glasses and a pleasant, soft-spoken manner. He helped Alex out of the spacesuit and stayed in the room when Alex finally did throw up. It turned out that he'd dealt with astronauts before. "They're all sick when they come down," he explained. "It goes with the territory. Or maybe I should say terra firma. That's Latin for down to earth. You'll be fine by the morning." "Where am I?" Alex asked. "You're about 90 miles off the coast of Australia. We were on a training exercise when we got a red alert that you were on your way down." "So what happens now?" "Well, now you have a shower and get some sleep. You're in luck. We've got a mattress made out of memory foam. It was actually developed by NASA. It'll give your muscles a chance to get used to being back in full gravity." Alex had been given a private cabin in the medical department of the Kitty Hawk. In fact, a fully equipped hospital at sea, with 65 beds, an operating room, a pharmacy, and everything else that 5,500 sailors might need. It wasn't huge, but he suspected that nobody else on the Kitty Hawk would have this much space. Cook went over to the corner and pulled back a plastic curtain to reveal a shower cubicle. "You may find it difficult to walk," he explained. "You're going to be unsteady on your feet for at least 24 hours. If you like, I can wait in the room until you're showered." "I'll be okay," Alex said. "All right." Cook smiled and opened the main door. But before he left, he looked back at Alex. "You know, every man and woman on this ship is talking about you," he said. "There are a whole pile of questions I'd like to ask you, but I'm under strict orders from the captain to keep my mouth shut. Even so, I want you to know that I've been at sea for a long time, and I've never encountered anything like this. A kid in outer space." He nodded one last time. "I hope you have a good rest. There's a call button beside the bed if there's anything you need." Cook left. It took Alex 10 minutes to get into the shower. He had completely lost his sense of balance, and the roll of the ship didn't help. He turned the temperature up as high as he could bear and stood under the steaming water, enjoying the rush of it over his shoulders and through his hair. Then he dried himself and got into bed. The memory foam was only a couple of inches thick, but it seemed to mould itself to the shape of his body exactly. He fell almost instantly into a deep but troubled sleep. He didn't dream about the Archangel space station or his knife fight with Caspar, the bald eco-terrorist who had been determined to kill him, though it was clear that all was lost. Nor did he dream about Nikolai Drevin, the billionaire who had been behind it all. But it did seem to him that sometime in the middle of the night he heard the whisper of voices that he didn't recognize, but that somehow he still knew. Old friends or old enemies. It didn't matter which, because he couldn't make out what they were saying, and anyway, a moment later they were swept away down the dark river of his sleep. Perhaps it was a premonition. Because 3 weeks before, 7 men had met in a room in London to discuss an operation that would make them many millions of dollars and would change the shape of the world. And although Alex had never met any of them, he certainly knew them. Scorpia was back again. Chapter 2. Death is not the end. It was the sort of building you could walk past without noticing. 3 stories high, painted white with ivy, perfectly trimmed, climbing up to the roof. It stood about halfway down Sloane